planet, the name.
Yeah.
That's just like the earth.
Gotcha.
When you awaken to that,
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, I'm going to give you a new name.
Mm-hmm.
But, mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on LD Euphonico, here radio station, also on BTV i3 Live. I know we have thousands and thousands of viewers right now. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Right? So this is our special guest, Miss Radhaa Nelia, our princess. Look at her. I mean, she looks beautiful, stunning. Look at all those. Let me take off my hat. Give me some of them beads.
Here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not working. It's not working.
It did work. I told you. You have to believe it.
I believe
it, and it works.
That's it. Okay. So we're gonna put out in the universe that I'm gonna be, a lot more handsomer and gonna be slimmer because we have all these beautiful products here today. We had a great exhibit. But last but not least, we're going to go ahead and talk to you because, this is all about empowerment. This is all about, being positive and putting out, positivity in the world. And, you're that person, and we've had a chance to, meet, years ago. And
Yes.
you've actually done so much, since then. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about, what you've done here in the last 3 to 4 years? I haven't seen you.
Absolutely. So I sort of took a hiatus from everything. And I think sometimes it takes that like pulling back from everything so that you can sort of really go inside and then just feel what you need to create.
Mm-hmm.
And by trusting that which is coming through is really what came through was an academy for women, Goddess Code Academy.
Okay.
And, I love what I found is I was teaching my clients and they were getting to a place where they cleared everything. Like, okay, I'm good. But now what? I still want to learn more. And I'm like, well, I want to give you everything. So let me put something together for you. And that's Goddess Code Academy because I feel like, it's about people taking knowledge and learning and then using it in their own life and
right.
not just using a healer to be a crutch, but really learning how to be empowered in their own self and their own life. And that's
right.
so important,
Right. So, you wrote a book.
I did.
Tell everybody about your book real quick.
Woo, 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 woo.
I love it.
So out of all the the decade of working with people one-to-one came this modality called the Goddess Code Activations.
Okay.
That was 11 goddesses that were coming in, through the sessions, the energy, the essence, the archetypes. And one of the goddesses that really came in, and we'll bring her in here, is Kuan Yin.
Kuan Yin.
Kuan Yin, who is pure love and pure compassion. And what we humans, all of us, including myself, really needed to connect with was that loving, compassionate energy. And, it's easy to have compassion for other people, but so often we need to give it to ourselves. Give
wow.
it. Mm-hmm.
Man, that's deep. That's so deep. Okay, let's talk more about that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So Kuan Yin is she's one aspect of the divine feminine, and her, she, she's that energy, that ever loving, that mother-esque energy that's really the embodiment of the divine.
So how do you channel her into you and to the women and,
Well, it's pretty easy actually, but what it is just getting, when I go to a session, it's like I have a door. I check my ego at the door. I check my personality at the door. I say, okay, you know what? You stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go inside and I'm just going to be a vessel. And that vessel is just going to bring in whatever is for the highest and best good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be caring. And I'm going to be that, channel, that connection, that bridge to the divine. And through that came so many incredible, beautiful experiences for women. And they would say, wow, I can't believe this. Like, I've always connected with Kuan Yin. I didn't even know that she was actually part of my life. But then now that you're talking about her, or, I've seen her so many times in my life, and I feel her, and I feel her right here,
wow.
And her energy is sort of like this soft, loving, compassionate energy that just washes over you. And it's like you are perfect, whole, and complete, and there's nothing wrong with you.
Wow.
And that's always the place that I come from in my sessions, you know, and that's what I teach women. It's like, there is nothing wrong with you. We're not looking for what's wrong with you. We're actually going for what's right with you. And anything, you know, everything is energy. So if there's some distortion energy, that just means it's distortion energy. Let's just work with that and then clear that out. But really, we're whole and complete, and I think that's a misconception. Is that there's something so wrong, and I think the whole world has this distortion energy. So if we're part of the world, we carry that too. And when we start to say, okay, I don't have to be attached to that, whatever that is, I can let that go, and allowing more of the wholeness to come through. We're actually anchoring that wholeness for humanity. So it goes to the individual and to humanity, because you know, you have children and you're like, well, I want a better world, not just for me, but for them,
for generations to come.
For generations. So this work is not just about the individual. It's actually clearing lineage, you know. So we go 7 generations up, and we contain and carry the energy of any distortion from 7 generations, which is a lot.
Wow.
It's a lot to put on your shoulders for anyone. Sure. So then if we are like, okay, so that's that. There's no judgment there, but let's start removing or clearing that. Then all of a sudden this whole new space opens up. And then for the 7 generations going down, there's a clearing, and you're giving your kids a break, so they don't have to take on that stuff. And it's, you know what I mean? So most of the stuff we take on, it's not even our own stuff. And it's actually a gift that we're giving to our beloveds. You know, and
that's deep, man. That is so deep. Because last time we had a conversation here at our station, you talked about cleaning out your closet and making room. And that's what I see right now for people like us, you know, because it's up to us. And we could leave the baggage there. We could leave all that dirty stuff, or we could clean it out and then leave it for somebody else, you know, our generations. Is that what you're trying to say? You know?
What I'm trying to say is that we, you know, we're living, we want this world to be beautiful, not just for our own self, but for our children and the generations to come. And it is us, the leaders, because we have an opportunity, we have a choice as an adult to say yes or no, or you know what, I want to clear that out. And that's what that's what leadership is. Leadership is stepping onto your path and saying, okay, I'm no longer going to do that, and I want to clear the space so that I can bring this in, and I want to lead from my heart. And I think we've been leading from and this has gotten us in a lot of trouble. It just goes and it's like, okay, that doesn't even make sense anymore. What happens if I lead with my heart? Where can we go if this is pulling us forward? What kind of world can we create? And that's what I'm interested in. I want this world to be a beautiful world for us, for everyone, and for our children.
Exactly.
I don't have kids, but I you know what? I love children. I love your kids. Are so cute.
All right. So now that you set the tone, you know, we're talking about, you know, cleansing yourself and loving yourself and things like that. You know, we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are online right now. And, you know, people that have, you know, like roadblocks or stumbling blocks or even hurdles that's in front of them. And, you know, to go over those stumbling blocks, I mean, how does somebody keep going? You know what I mean? How does somebody that's an entrepreneur that's going out there that has the dream, has the vision, and they're just so gung-ho, but they hit roadblocks?
Well, that's inevitable. I mean, my viewpoint is that roadblocks are inevitable, but like you have to have something that's bigger than you. You have to see the goal there, and it's bigger than you. It's like, what is your really big picture goal? Because it has to come from your heart too. So your heart will lead you. And yes, they will show up no matter what, especially if they're really big goals. You know, but you know, you're waving your wand around like, you know, you could just wish them away. Well, you can't, but you can't, sometimes you just need to go and you just have to keep, you know, pulling them apart. And that's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. It's a combination. It's holistic. it's not just one thing. It's not just a diet. It's not just the energy healing. It's not, it's multiple things. It's a mindset.
Okay.
It's creating goals. It's like, okay, fall on your ass and then get up again. There's many factors in like.
But why would somebody just fall on their ass and then quit? Why is that?
People do because they think it's not. I mean, I've seen many people do that, and I don't know why they do that, but for me, I see something bigger, and that's what pulls me. That's what draws me, because I'm a human. I have many obstacles too, and we all. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm dealing with that because I know that I need to do this and do this. Like creating the book was like obstacles and more editing and, but I'm like, no, I'm not really writing this for myself. I'm writing this because it's a gift and I know that it needs to be out there.
Right.
I know that people will benefit. And my love for humanity is what really pulls me forward.
Right.
So
I gotcha.
So it's hard because if you're just thinking just about me, if I'm thinking about just me all the time, I can get stuck in that. But if I think about the bigger picture, then I actually have more leverage to move forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, growing up in this industry, I've been in sales and marketing for 20 years. My mentor told me, Christian, pick up a journal. Right?
Yes.
And then I was like, why would I buy an empty book? You know what I'm saying? How much does it cost? $10 for an empty book? But, he told me it's not the pages. That's not the empty pages. It's what you put into those empty pages. Because after you're done with your journal, you're going to put down your failures. You're going to put down your successes. Yes. But then, God forbid, but, someone's going to get a hold of that journal. And when someone reads it, you know what I'm saying? Someone's going to get a hold of your book. And someone's going to get a hold of your journal. It's your life journey. Yes. Do you want it to be an example or a caution? You know what I'm saying? So it's like a good example. So that's the thing, right? Caution, maybe you learn from your mistakes and things like that. Is that what people are going to get from your book?
People are going to get a combination. They're going to get, I come at everything with different angles.
Okay.
So part of it is a memoir, like telling my stories. And I love telling my stories, even like the bad ones, because it doesn't matter. You know what? I always think like if someone can benefit from this story, I'm going to tell it.
Really?
What shame do I have?
Right.
At the end of the day, we all die. So who cares? I'm going to share my stories as a cautionary tale or an inspiration, whatever they perceive as their own, interpretation. Yeah. But I don't waste my life. Every single lesson, every single obstacle means something,
Gotcha.
And then giving them the opportunity to sort of dive in to understanding different aspects of the feminine more. And then also bringing in aspects of the journaling, which is really important because self-reflection, like you said with the journal, it's their journey. I'm not here to dictate anything. I'm here to share. And that's the difference. I'm not a dictator. I'm someone that shares. Okay. And you can take what you want. And then if you don't like some of it, you can take what you want and what empowers you.
Right. Gotcha. So we're talking about building a legacy. Obviously, this is the legacy radio station and people want to create a legacy. They want to build a legacy, for somebody that is so inspired to go after their goals and go after their dreams. And there's people out there that are toxic dream stealers. You heard of them? Right? They're called, they're called SNIOPs, right?
I've
You're, susceptible to negative influences of other people. How do you avoid, people? I mean, it's not, you can't avoid them, but how do you deal with those things? Because those are part of your obstacles. Those are part, sometimes it's the person you're laying next to. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, why are you so negative? So how do you deal with people like that, especially in your immediate family, and you're going after your I'm pretty sure you came across people like that when you're writing your book, just like
many. And it's like they'll shrug it off like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, well, if you don't care, it doesn't matter. I sort of kind of learned how to have that tunnel vision where it doesn't matter. I still love you and I understand your limitations, but I'm still moving forward because at the end of the day, it's not about just you, it's about the people that are going to benefit, and I'm here to serve those people. And sometimes people closest to you cannot see your gifts, And that's a strange thing because they're so close to you that they perceive you as who you've been maybe like a couple of years ago, but you've already changed.
Right.
And so that's the thing. We're always evolving. And so you cannot be stuck by people's perceptions of you. That's a dangerous thing. And that's why even like compliments are nice, okay, and then criticism is nice, okay. It doesn't matter. Compliments, criticism, it doesn't matter, because when you have a purpose that's bigger than you, it's like, okay, I accept both, but they don't shake or break me.
Right.
Either way, I'm moving forward on my path, not because of you, but because I've been served this, certain blueprint.
Right.
And I'm here to activate that blueprint.
I love that.
And move forward. So if you have a problem with it, then I'm sorry, but that's just my journey.
Right.
And if you can't see those gifts, that's still okay. I'm still moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my attitude, because I realize like sometimes the people that you think are going to support you are not. And you're like, oh, wait, if I was waiting for your approval, I would really be in trouble. And I can't wait for your approval. I have to keep going. And it's not because I don't love you. I love you, and I'm still moving forward. Right. So it's not, you don't have to throw people away. You just sort of kind of be like, okay, I get that. And then I still need to do this.
Right. Gotcha. I heard a saying one day. The saying goes, if you can't change your friends, change your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a neighborhood where, it's, there's no Bentleys, no nothing. I lived in a gated community, though, where my windows were gated and my doors were gated. You know what I mean? Right. And I heard fireworks every night, But so I was surrounded. I'm a product of my environment, you know what I mean? And I was surrounded with people that are negative. And when I saw, people like you and that were successful, and I started to change. You know what I'm saying? I started to change, and I was hanging around with my friends one day, and I changed because I got into this industry and I met some successful people, and I started reading the books, and I started to change. And my friends told me, man, Christian, man, you're not the same.
Thank you.
Exactly right. You're not the same. And you know what I said? I said, I didn't work this hard to stay the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know we're going to go through those negative influences, and there's going to be people out there that's going to go after you. How do you tune them out, man? It's just.
Here's the thing. They're going to come, because I always say, like, the light attracts many moths. Many moths.
That's a crazy vision.
Whoa, they all want the light. They don't care what light it is. They just want that light. And they're going to be like, poof.
They're going to swarm.
They're going to swarm, and they might come and attack you. They might, either way, sometimes people that attack you are actually wanting your energy. They're putting their claws out to sort of get your attention.
Right.
And people do strange things to get attention or to get your focus, because if you give them attention, all of a sudden you're actually giving them that, and they're like, oh, I feel good now. And there are a lot of vampires.
Yeah.
And that's a fact about this world. There are vampires.
Yeah, man, the bloodsuckers, man. Yeah, the time bandits.
Time bandits, energetic vampires, you name it. And I think I've learned to identify them, but I've certainly been on the receiving end of those transfusions. They're like, oh, wow, you're taking a lot of blood here.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn how to detect that. But I realize that sometimes people try to get under your skin because they're like, well, I want some of that. Whatever you have, I'm just gonna try to, And so you just have to say, okay, I understand you're needing an infusion, but you're going to have to find another place to get that.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not that person for you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not happening at all.
Right.
Here.
Yeah.
and that's creating powerful boundaries.
Right.
And I think learning how to say no and not feeling bad. Here. No. No. I can say no. No. And learning how to say no, because that's the biggest thing. If you don't say no, people will keep, taking your time and energy, and then you can't really focus on the things that you're meant to do.
Oh, wow.
So it's not being mean. It's not anything. It's just creating that, those boundaries.
Got you. So, let's talk about real briefly. Let's go back to the entrepreneurship, because, we have people here that are business owners. We have people here that are they're barely starting their business, and they're going to face obstacles. They're going to face all those things. What's one of the main adversities that you had to go through to get to where you're at? I know we talked about negative influences, but what's one of the other things that you've gone through that maybe could help out some of the viewers?
Well, I think really believing in your product or whatever it is that you're creating is important. If you believe in that, that's more powerful than anything.
Oh,
truly.
Man, nuggets, guys. Get your journals out and start writing some stuff, man. I'm telling you, these are nuggets. Believing in yourself, okay?
Believing in yourself, but
and your
believing
product.
in what you're doing, your product. Like
brand you, right?
Brand you. So if you think that what you're creating or what you're selling is really healthy and helping people, then you know that you feel good. If you feel good and you feel aligned with what you're putting out there, that's really important. And I was just having this conversation earlier, like so many times, like in our business or whatever, we feel like we have to be one way and then at home another way. But it's bridging that gap, and like, okay, this is who I am here and this is who I am there. And it's like getting smaller, you know what I mean? Because that's sustainable, like that's sustainable. We're not always in a great mood. We're not always high energy, but we can always, if we believe in something, we can always push forward with it, I think. And that, at the end of the day, believing in what you're doing is the most powerful, most potent, most important thing. So if you don't believe in what you're doing, then don't do it. Do what you believe in.
Man.
That's it.
Wow, that is amazing stuff. That's some golden nuggets right now, guys. I mean, she just dropped the bomb on y'all, man. If you guys aren't paying attention, if you guys aren't writing this stuff down, I'm telling you, she's dropping some golden nuggets right now because, she's been there. She's done that. She's not just talking the talk, man. She's walking the walk. So how does somebody get your book?
All right, so you just go to my website, goddesscodeacademy.com, and I have a link, and you can get it there.
All right, so goddesscode.com and get
Goddess Code Academy.
Oh,
it's okay. It's all
Goddess
good.
Code Academy. Yeah. And she also has a book.
Yep, and it's called Kuan Yin Goddess Code Activations. I know it's really long, but it's worth it because when you put it in your hands and put it in front of you and start doing the work inside of it, and investing the time in your healing and your clearing and then also your crystal clarity, you will feel the difference. And I really believe that the number one step is commitment. So committing to whatever it is that you're stepping forward into. So if you say, okay, I'm going to work out, but you don't commit, it's not going to happen. If you pick up this book and say, okay, I'm going to commit to this and I'm just going to see what happens in 30 days and I'm going to work at it for 30 days, something will happen. And that's an absolute guarantee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, I forgot who said this. He says, man, if you don't do, if you don't do anything, if you're not going to take action, the worst thing's going to happen is nothing. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And, you got to do something. You got to move forward, and if you take a look at, a river, you know what I mean? And, if it's flowing, it's great. You don't see any in the dirt, but as soon as you put a dam in front of this river and you stop the river, all the crap just flows to the top. And, we always got to be in a forward, moving fashion, because if we don't, then we're stagnant and all the crap flows up. And then next thing you know, you're depressed. You're like, oh crap, all this stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like a bicycle, man. You just got to keep going. If you stop pedaling, you're going to lose your equilibrium. You know what I'm saying? You're going to lose your balance. And I think, that's what people are going to get from you. But I want to get your book. I want you to sign it.
Yep. I'll bring it in.
And we're going to do something on Tuesday, right?
Yep, we are.
So you got to tune back again on Tuesday, same time, not same time. It's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to have Miss Radhaa back. And also we're going to do a
live healing, you guys.
A live healing. Oh my God. We're going to bring somebody back from the dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know what? We never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But whatever's for the highest and best good, we're gonna do.
Right.
And you can witness it. And that's what I love. It's an experiment, a living live experiment. But nobody gets hurt in the process. So.
All right. Look, there's a lot of wandering generalities out there. They're pretty much brain dead. You know what I mean? So maybe we could bring some brain dead people and then get them back to life.
That's called soul fragment retrieval. And that's
soul fragment retrieval?
Soul fragment retrieval. And I do that a lot. I pull back a lot of pieces of people's souls and bring them back to them.
Let's do that.
It's like coffee. But better. So we're going to do that on Tuesday, right? Yep.
We're going to do that Tuesday with our co-host, Jesse Marr. And you're a princess right now. And if I was
Never-ending story.
Never-ending story. The Empress. Okay. I was going to say Queen Elsa.
I like that too.
You know, Queen Elsa, a Filipino version.
Yes.
You know?
I love that.
You know, that's great. That's amazing stuff. All right, I'm excited for you to be here. Thank you so much for all those golden nuggets. You know, but I can't get enough of you and your experience, so we want to invite you back.
And we're gonna do a soul fragment retrieval for you, right?
Please. You know what I mean? After 5 kids, you know, I lost a little bit of my soul. I got to get my soul back.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here. I know you drove a long way to be here.
Thank you.
You got all dressed up, and you know, I appreciate your time. You know, everybody here stood around because they want to hear you. They want to hear your expertise.
Thanks for having me on. Such a pleasure, such an honor to know you. And I'm really proud of you and all you're doing. Truly incredible. You are an inspiration.
Oh, thank you so much. But you know, it's just the beginning. You know what I mean? We got to water the seed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We got to water the seed and we got to tend to the field. Yeah. And that's what we're doing right now. Is we're planting because we want to have a good harvest.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have that ant philosophy. You know, you got to work in the summer because winter's coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter's coming, right? The cold doesn't bother me anyway, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here. Special guest. Thank you. I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. I'll see you again on Tuesday.
Okay.
I can't wait. All right. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Tuning out. Love you. Peace, love, and adobo.